This video is sponsored by PageProof.
Hi, I'm Jody Wissing for CreativePro, and in this video, we're rescuing a slide that's dressed like an ugly Christmas sweater, and we're going to give it a makeover. An ugly Christmas sweater is supposed to be, well, ugly, but a slide not so much. And a quick note just to have the best experience with slide makeovers. There's more than one right way, and this is just one approach. Additionally, a slide makeover for one slide often results in multiple slides, as we want the content to drive the number of slides we use. Here we go.
On the first slide of Christmas, my makeover gave to me slides that show my message clearly.
Wow, yeah, nothing is really clear on this slide. This is our ugly sweater slide, so let's do a makeover. There's a lot of great info here about the history of ugly Christmas sweaters, and that's our topic. And there's lots of dates in here, which would make a great timeline. And look at all the story elements in here. They could never be heard or understood with this text-heavy slide. This is the cultural evolution of the ugly Christmas sweater, and we'll need to do this in stages. Let's look at the title first and give it a proper short name. Here we're shortening it and providing a subtitle. The different font sizes will help guide our audience to focus where we want them to. And here I gave it a more condensed and fun title, From Tacky to Tradition, and I moved the descriptive title to the subtitle. Now let's look at the copy again. There are two things at play here that will guide the content for our slide. There's the timeline and a story. And I believe using them together is really going to yield the best results. Let's do a quick makeover on the content to get it consumable. Here, I've kept the timeline parts and the stories within the specific dates. I've also added short titles for each era. And here they're separated into the different eras. And by taking off the bullet points and changing the font sizes, it's easier to follow, but that's still a lot of text. And here I've shortened the descriptions. The brief copy makes it much easier to digest. There are two eras that are in a different format than the others, and it's easier to follow when they're the same. Now let's add some festive color, and we can visualize with an ugly Christmas sweater. On this slide, I just aligned the text, that's all. And since it's a presentation slide, the audience will likely not have time to read all those descriptions, so I took them out. Taking those off, coloring the titles, and changing them up a bit gives us a relatively quick makeover. And we could stop here, but we still have some time. Since there are dates, this is the perfect opportunity for a timeline. Let's change them to circles. Why? Well, they could represent Christmas ornaments, or because circles is usually my go-to shape for timelines. Any shape will work, just make sure that they're aligned. And since there's a time gap in the beginning that's longer than the others, let's visually give it more space for accuracy. Here, I pulled the colors from her sweater for design continuity. Then I added the descriptions and made the today circle into an arrow to represent still going strong. On this one, I adjusted the spacing a bit and I added a subtle shape behind the title just to give it some depth. And again, we could stop here, but we still have more time, so let's visualize each era. In the 1950s, the cozy beginnings. The benefit of having each one on its own slide is that you can speak to each era individually and tell the story. Oh, the 80s. Glamour shots and big hair. The uncool 90s with grandma sweaters. And then we have the 2000s, and this is where the joke started to be the trend. The first ever documented ugly sweater party was in 2002, hosted by two guys in Canada. Then, of course, the big brands started cashing in on the trend. And in the 20s, especially the early 20s, we love ugly Christmas sweaters, but the one and done just doesn't feel right for our environment and sustainability. Thrift stores and DIY clothing you already own is a great way to go. Fast forward to today. It looks as though these sweaters are here to stay, at least for the foreseeable future. Now, we looked at a lot of slide makeover concepts here. Let's look at these makeovers through the 12 days of Christmas.
On the 12th slide of Christmas, my makeover gave to me 12 decks are winning, 11 bullets shrinking, 10 slides transitioning, 9 visuals popping, 8 at a glance visuals, 7 bring the story, 6 slides declutter, 5 with legibility, 4 color choices, 3 smart insights, 2 simple fonts, and a slide that shows my message clearly.
And in the true spirit of makeovers, if one slide looks like an ugly Christmas sweater, add more slides to declutter your content and visually tell your story. Now that my ugly Christmas makeover is done, I probably need to go find my ugly sweater.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to our channel. And for thousands more how-to articles and tutorials, visit our website, CreativePro.com, and become a member today. Thanks for learning with us.